Hi everyone, welcome to 40K on Point, the channel that quantify Warhammer 40K. This video describes the Astra Militarum Elite choice using our quantifiable methodology. If you want to know more about the metric use, please follow the link in the description. There are a lot of choice in the Elite section of the Astra Militarum Codex. Those presented here are the one that are non-character, but also it has been reduced for time constraint. The first unit that was analyzed was the Bullgrind. So for 129 points, you are getting 3 models, including 1 bonehead, and they are armed with the Grenadier Gauntlet. And also they have the slab shield that gives them a very good armor save. So for 129 points, you are getting 9 wounds of toughness 5 and a save equivalent of a save 2+. They have 10 attacks of strength 5, and their Grenadier Gauntlet is a shooting weapon, strength 4, assault d6, and it is a range of 12 inches. The unit did not perform very well in our metrics. While it has a very strong fortitude score, that makes a unit that is very difficult to kill for its point. It has not a lot of damage output per point. So for that reason, it is considered that this unit may not be worth their point. They can be useful in the battlefield, but they will not deliver damage to the amount of their fortitude score. The next unit are the Crusaders. So for 40 points, you are getting 2 Crusaders. The Crusaders are all armed with the Power Sword. They have the Shield of Fate. They have a normal Astra Militarum stat line, except they have a better weapon skill. They have a save 4+, but with their Storm Shield anyway, they're going to have a 3+ invulnerable save. For the purpose of the analysis, they were considered to have done Act of Fate, and that would allow to do the Passion, so they immediately pile in an attack. So to add another phase of a round of attacks, so that did double the amount of attacks that they were making in melee in the analysis. Even with that, the Crusaders perform poorly at 20 points per wound. Even if it's invulnerable save, it does not give a good fortitude score. Therefore, the fortitude is pretty high. It's per point. It's not a very resistant unit. Don't get mistaken by the 3+ invulnerable save. You are paying for it a bit too much. And the unit has a very limited damage output per point. Of course, they don't have any shooting capacity, but even in melee, they are okay per point. But it's really, they just have not enough wounds for the cost that you are paying. Next, we have the Ogrins. So for 90 points, you are getting 3 models. They are armed with the Ripper gun that has ability in shooting, close range 12 inches, but also increased armor penetration in melee. So for 90 points, you are getting 9 wounds of toughness 5, save 5+. You are getting also 10 attacks, strength 5, also armor penetration -1. Also, this unit has a slightly better weapon skill than the Astra Militarum Standard with 3+ to hit. This unit performed okay in our matrix, reaching a score of 89%. They have a good score, fortitude score, of 9.09, which is a bit better than average. So you're paying a bit less per normalized wound. Also, the unit has a versatile offensive capacity, but it is a bit better when it comes to melee against infantry. So the unit is close to be worth their points. So for 50 points you are getting 5 ratlings, all armed with the sniper rifle. They have a good ballistic skill of 3+, but their stat line for strength and toughness is 2. Their weapon skill is 5+. When it comes to movement, they have a 5-inch movement. However, they have the find the best spot that allows them to have a better deployment opportunity at the beginning of the game. Also, they have a shoot, sharp, and scarper that allows them to move after making a shooting attack. And they got a little defensive buff with naturally stealthy that increase their benefit of cover of an additional 1. The unit performed well in our metrics, reaching a score of 92%. It is worth noting that the sniper rifle is not a good performer in the methodology used. It is very hard to quantify the ability to target character. With that taken into consideration, it's a very good score. So even with that caveat, it is the unit is a good shooter. It is pretty good against a vehicle thanks to its ability to inflict mortal wounds, but it is also a good anti-personnel unit per point. So very good shooter per point. Of course, its melee capacity is very, very bad per point. However, in its fortitude score is quite high. Toughness 2, save 6+ is having an impact on that element. So you are paying quite a lot per wound for this unit. It has, however, good mobility thanks to its different characteristic of being able to move and shoot and being deployed earlier further in the game. So for 45 points you are getting a special weapons squad armed with 3 meltagons. So the unit for 45 points you are getting 3 shots of strength 8, armor penetration -4, and a slight increase in damage. So it's very, very cheap per point. The unit is having a normal Astra Militarum stat line. However, because the cost of the meltagon and your standard model, it gives a score very, 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 very interesting in our metrics, because you are paying not a lot of points for what you're getting for. So it gives a unit the per point that has a good fortitude score, so 9.04. It's a bit better than average, so your defensive cost is a bit lower than average. It has a very strong anti-tank shooting per point. So mind you, it's only a 45 points unit, so the overall impact may not be that drastic, but that 45 points will create a lot of damage. And so very, very strong score, around 3 times over than a dedicated anti-tank unit. So very, very interesting anti-tank shooting capacity. Its anti-personnel is okay, and its melee is not that good, but because it's such a good anti-tank shooter and it has a good fortitude score, it gives a unit that is worth two times its worth in point. So there are multiple options for the veterans. The one analyzed here was for 60 point, 10 models, including a veteran sergeant. So for 1 point more, you are getting a better ballistic skill than your standard infantry Astra Militarum. A video will be made in the future to see what is the best way to equip veterans. They have different options. So maybe, but here it's really in its vanilla form, which it will be analyzed. For 60 point, the unit performed well in our methodology. Overall, the veterans are worth 163% their value. They are a good anti-infantry shooter. They are also pretty low per normalized wound, so your defensive cost is a bit lower than average. It is a versatile unit, and they have a very good force multiplier that are available to them. So overall, the Astra Militarum Elite choice is very versatile. You have different options. The Special Weapon Squad with 3 Meltagons and the Veterans are the units that perform the best, and we can see that they are performing in areas that are different. So depending on what you need in your army, you can include them for either anti-tank or anti-personnel role. You have also other units that may be a bit better, like the Rattling, I think can be interesting. You have, however, some point sink, namely the Crusaders. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Crusaders. I think the choices for Elite in many competitive army will be between Special Weapon Squad, 5 points per Meltagon, so very, very good, and the Veterans. It's worth noting that the Meltagon cost for the Veterans is 10 points. So they may not be veterans with Meltagons, but maybe with flamers or those kind of things. So if we make the quick analysis on the veteran, if we include the order first, second rank fire, it brings the unit to a very good score of 280%. So a very strong force multiplier for the veterans. Also, you have the experienced eyes stratagem that when added to the order brings the unit to a very good 355% their value. So they have a very good damage output per point. The Special Weapon Squad, just with the order bring it down, would go over 200%. And if we add the ability of their regiment, easily that unit can be competitive. This video describes the elite choice for Astra Militarum using our quantified methodology. Please feel free to comment on how to increase the efficiency of the presented units or how to deal with them with your army. Subscribe if you like this content. I will upload all the units of Warhammer 40k using the same methodology. Thank you for watching. Over and out.